What if the world around you isn't as stable as it seems? Glowing orbs taking human form, objects shifting with intent, and sometimes even humans losing their own features.
Oh, nice one!
These things don't announce themselves, they hide in plain sight. So keep your eyes peeled, because once you notice them, there's no unseeing it. This guy had a wild story, the kind that sounds made up until you see the clip. He was at Dunkirk Beach in France when, out of nowhere, a glowing humanoid figure rose straight out of the sea. As it hit the shore, it suddenly broke into a sprint, and then things got even stranger. The figure collapsed into itself, morphing into a ball of light that bounced off a rock before shooting straight up into the sky. He thought maybe it was a ghost, but honestly, that feels too simple. What if we just watched something not from here? Living cloud. A homeowner in the States was just relaxing on his porch one morning when things took a turn, and not a small one. A cloud, yes, an actual cloud, seemed to drift right up to his house. But this wasn't normal. It hovered just inches above the ground, glowing from within like something alive.
I have not seen something like this.
The shape kept shifting, almost intelligently, and at one point, it looked eerily like a glowing jellyfish. It slithered through the air in snake-like motions, lighting up in a surreal way.
Just gorgeous.
The guy was completely stunned. He called it a moving lightning ball. But that explanation feels way too convenient, since when do clouds behave like that? If you're ready to uncover more of these chilling, shape-shifting moments, make sure to like and subscribe, because what you've seen so far is just the beginning. Glitch moment. This one's genuinely unsettling. A viewer spotted something seriously off during a live TV interview with Jennifer Aniston. At first, everything seemed completely normal. Casual conversation, nothing unusual. But then, for a split second, her eyes shift. Not just a blink or lighting trick. They looked completely inverted, like they flipped upside down. And just as quickly, they snapped back to normal. If you blink, you miss it. But if you catch it, it doesn't feel human. It's like something else slipped through for a moment. Something that wasn't quite human, I guess. Shadow shift. Giorgia Meloni, the Prime Minister of Italy, was speaking during a political broadcast when something happened that left viewers stunned. Mid-sentence, her eyes suddenly turned completely dark, and her facial features seemed to shift, like whatever she was presenting slipped for a second. Everything else stayed normal. The banner behind her, the lighting, the setting, it all checked out. Only her face told a different story. Those who follow reptilian theories pointed out how clear the footage was. Good lighting, close camera, no distortion to blame. If there was ever a moment that looked like a clean slip, many believe this was it. Twisted patient. This hospital's CCTV footage is seriously disturbing, and it makes you question if everyone you see is even human. There was something very wrong with a man sitting in a wheelchair. At first glance, nothing unusual. But then you notice it. His torso was twisted backwards. His lower body faced forward, but his upper half had rotated in the opposite direction. That's not normal. The human spine doesn't move like that. He even looked like he was struggling to hold that position. And then suddenly, his body snapped back into place like nothing happened. Almost like it was correcting itself. So what was that? A glitch? Or something pretending to be human like a shapeshifter? Undercover Reptilian. This might be one of the most disturbing leaked clips ever. For a brief moment, something slipped, and it wasn't human anymore. A figure on camera appeared normal, until its face distorted, revealing something reptilian underneath, before snapping back. It wasn't just a theory anymore. You could actually see the transformation happening. And then, another clip surfaced. After reports of strange activity in a forest, Officials placed cameras to investigate. What they captured wasn't rituals, but a humanoid figure with clear, lizard-like features moving through the trees. The footage disappeared almost as quickly as it spread, which only made people wonder, what exactly are they hiding? Hybrid human. A man stepped outside to throw out his garbage, expecting nothing unusual. At first, he thought he saw a homeless man digging through the trash, but as he got closer, everything changed. The figure turned, and it didn't have a human face. It was a pig's face on a human body, something far more disturbing. The man froze, then immediately stopped recording and ran. He didn't wait to find out more, and honestly, who would? Was it a shapeshifter caught mid-change, or something created in a lab? Drop your theories in the comment section. Bat shift. Late at night, a man noticed a bat flying around inside his room. Trying to get it out, he grabbed a cloth and managed to trap it after a brief struggle. But what happened next completely changed everything. The small shape inside the cloth began to shift. Within seconds, it wasn't a bat anymore. It had turned into a humanoid figure. The man panicked and ran without looking back, and that's where the footage ends.
Oh, nice one! No.
After the clip spread, fear took over the town. People started questioning everything. What if shapeshifters aren't rare at all? What if they've been hiding in plain sight this whole time? Masked revelation. A strange video has been floating around online, and no one seems to know where it's from. It looks like some kind of old stage performance or theater show. But here's where it gets unsettling. The performers start taking off their masks, and what's underneath? Definitely not human. We're talking blank, oversized eyes, weird ridges, reptilian-looking skin. The whole thing feels off. They even seem taller than normal people. And the clip looks old too, which makes it harder to just brush off as CGI. I don't know about you, but this kind of thing messes with your head. Makes you wonder what's really hiding under those costumes. Glitching royalty. There's this old interview clip of King Charles from way back in the 1970s that's making rounds again. And of course, it's tied to that long-running reptilian royal theory. You've probably heard it. People believe the royal family isn't entirely human. In the clip, there's this moment where he moves his tongue in a really strange way. And now people are calling it reptilian, like some kind of predatory flick.
Do you have any thoughts about the lady that the Prince of Wales should marry?
Once you notice it, it's hard to unsee. Some even say he looks like something pretending to be human. Sounds wild, sure, but then again, what do you make of it? Blending in. Imagine just chilling in a park, recording a casual vlog, and then catching something straight out of a nightmare. That's exactly what happened in this clip. A woman is eating, minding her own business, when someone sits behind her. At first glance, nothing seems off. Until you really look, her face doesn't look right. It's like a poor imitation of a human face. Almost mask-like. But here's the thing. Why would someone wear a human mask? That's what got people talking. Some believe she was hiding something non-human underneath. The vlogger sensed something was wrong and left quickly. Broad daylight, and still terrifying. Hidden truth. Alright, I wasn't buying into all this reptilian stuff, but then this clip popped up. Albert Bourla is being interviewed, answering normally, and then suddenly, his throat starts moving in this weird frog-like way. Not once, not twice. It's repetitive and, honestly, kinda unsettling.
Many of your medicines we know from the COVID vaccine.
Like, can humans even do that? That's exactly what people online are asking. And of course, the reptilian theories came flooding in right after. According to some, this was a slip. If that's true, though, it raises a bigger question: who's really running major industries? Slipping mask. This old clip from 2000 is blowing people's minds all over again, and not for the reason you'd expect. A man is just sitting on a bench, minding his own business, when he casually reaches up to his face and peels at his skin like it's not even real, literally pulling. And the way it moves? Completely unnatural. It doesn't look human at all. It looks like something underneath is trying to adjust the disguise. The fact that this footage is over 2 decades old makes it even more unsettling. If it's real, then whatever this is, it's been around for a long time, and maybe it never left. Sudden change. The man was almost home when the change happened. A neighbor in India had been recording the street casually, and the yellow streetlights were the only light in the area. The man walked normally for a few steps, then suddenly bent down toward the ground. Without him touching it, his shirt shifted and moved away, as if pushed from inside. Right there, under the yellow light, a Nahual form came out and ran across the road before vanishing into another street. The man did not chase it, and the camera did not catch him changing back. Later, researchers pointed to the yellow lights, saying certain light waves might trigger hidden shifts that some beings cannot control. It raised a quiet thought that these lights may affect more than just vision. Glitched Prime Minister. A viral clip of Benjamin Netanyahu has people seriously questioning what they're seeing. During a speech, viewers claim his features start shifting. His teeth look sharper for a moment, and his hands appear to have extra fingers. Yeah, it looks unreal. Nothing about it seems normal, and that's exactly why it blew up online. Some are convinced this was a shape-shifting moment caught on camera, while others think it might not even be him, just an AI-generated version. Either way, it's one of those clips that leaves you staring, trying to figure out what's real. Mysterious street. Something strange happened in December 2025, and a CCTV camera in Japan recorded it, leaving viewers online shocked. A woman was walking calmly on a sidewalk when she suddenly dropped to the ground. Her body moved in a way that did not look natural, and within seconds, her form changed into a pig that ran out of the frame. Just 1 week later, another camera on the same sidewalk captured a man at the exact same time of night. His body twisted briefly, and he turned into a dog before running away. The matching time and location made people believe this was not random. Now it is believed that shapeshifters are living in Japan just like other people. Guard shapeshifter. Next is this clip caught in 2022. People in the town had already noticed this guard acting strangely. One night, when late footage was reviewed, the camera showed an animal walking toward the gate. The shape was clear, and even a cat nearby looked directly at it. Then, right in front of the camera, the animal's body changed and took the form of the same security guard. The footage did not cut. That detail made people trust what they saw. After that, the town split into 2 views. Some believed the guard had always been a shapeshifter. Others believed the real guard had left years ago, and something else had taken his place to live among them. Reptile culprit. Shapeshifters live among us. They could be anyone. Your friend, your neighbor, or even someone in your own family. Sounds unbelievable, right? But recently, a woman was seen standing still inside a closed elevator when something terrifying happened. Her thick hair slowly turned thin like a man's, and her facial features began to change. Within seconds, her entire face shifted, eyes, nose, and mouth transforming, until she was no longer a woman, but a man, standing in the same spot. What had just happened was clear. A shapeshifter had been revealed on camera! Claw glitch. A local was casually watching a news broadcast when something strange caught his attention. A woman on screen seemed normal until he zoomed in on her hand. That's when things got unsettling. Her fingers didn't look right. They appeared fused, forming 3 claw-like digits curled inward unnaturally. It didn't look like a trick of light or motion blur. The more he replayed it, the clearer it became. He was convinced this wasn't human, but something trying and failing to hold a human shape together. Snake glimpse. Passengers on a subway couldn't look away from one woman, and not for a good reason. It wasn't what she was doing, it was how she looked. Her face seemed to stretch in ways that didn't feel physically possible. The skin tone shifted unevenly, like layers weren't matching up properly. For a brief second, her appearance resembled something else entirely. Something closer to a snake than a human. Almost like she was trying to blend in, but failing for just a moment. Was it just lighting, angles, or something more deliberate? Because whatever people saw in that instant, it didn't feel like a normal human face. Shifting craft. There's so much about this world we still don't understand, and clips like this just push things further into the unknown. A classic saucer-shaped craft is seen being chased by 2 fighter jets. At first, it's exactly what you'd expect. Smooth, metallic, unmistakable. But then, things take a turn. As the saucer accelerates, a trail of smoke suddenly appears out of nowhere, and when the camera zooms in, the shape has changed. Completely. It now looks identical to the jets chasing it, like it copied them mid-flight. How is that even possible? If something out there can shapeshift like that, we're not ready. Midnight shifting. At around 2 a.m., a family's doorbell camera captured something they still can't explain. In the middle of the street stood a glowing humanoid figure, just hovering there in silence. Then, slowly, it began to rise higher into the air, its shape becoming less defined. The humanoid outline faded as it transformed into a bright orb of light, and just like that, it shot down the street and disappeared. Some believe wandering spirits can take human form when they want to be seen, then return to orbs. But does this really look like a spirit, or something else entirely? I'll let you decide in the comments. Red carpet slip. During the Screen Actors Guild Awards in Los Angeles, Selena Gomez walked the red carpet under flashing cameras. Everything seemed routine, until a clip surfaced later. In it, she briefly slips. But it's not the fall that caught attention, it's how her leg moved. The angle looked unnatural, almost like it bent in a way it shouldn't. Frame-by-frame analysis only made it stranger. Online users quickly jumped to conclusions, calling her a reptilian based on that single moment. The footage is clear, the setting is real, but that movement still doesn't sit right with a lot of people. Silent signal. Something felt off during the president's gathering in 2025, but not where you'd expect. While officials spoke, one woman in the background quietly stole the spotlight. The way she looked at people, it wasn't normal. Her eyes moved in sharp, almost reptilian motions, and her smile looked forced, like she was trying too hard to appear human. She sat just behind a man, almost like she believed she wouldn't be noticed, but the cameras caught everything. Some online believe she wasn't just a bystander, but a handler. Someone there to monitor, maybe even control what was being said. A glitch? Maybe, but it didn't feel accidental. Glitched jaw. This 2023 clip felt wrong the moment it hit the internet. Uploaded by an anonymous TikTok user, it shows a quiet moment inside a subway train. An elderly woman appears to be adjusting her artificial gums. Nothing unusual at first glance. But then, her mouth starts moving in a way that just doesn't make sense. Her jaw stretches wider than it should, almost unhinging, while the skin around her cheeks looks loose, flexible, like it's sliding over something else. The motion doesn't match normal anatomy. Some viewers were quick to jump to conclusions, calling it a reptilian slipping for a second. It sounds wild, but that movement, it's hard to explain away. Midnight transformation. On the 8th of October, 2025, around 3 a.m., a CCTV camera in Mexico recorded a man walking alone down the street with his face covered by a hoodie. He kept his head low and did not look toward the camera. As he reached the center of the frame, he suddenly dropped to all fours. The body then changed shape and became a wolf-like form. The movement was smooth and quick, not rushed. After the change, the figure went away and left the camera view. Later, when the watchman reviewed the footage, he said no one in the area matched that description, and his identity remained a mystery. Tongue flick. During a routine political interview, nothing seemed out of place until the camera cut to Nancy Pelosi. That's when things got strange. As she listened, her tongue made a quick, subtle movement, but not the kind you'd expect. It flicked. Fast, precise, almost snake-like. It wasn't a slip or a nervous habit. It looked controlled, intentional. The moment was brief, but enough to leave viewers unsettled. Some brushed it off instantly. Others weren't so sure. They questioned whether it was just an odd mannerism or a moment where something else briefly slipped through. Headless man. An American tourist was recording street life in Taiwan when he noticed a man standing near a wall, holding something in his hand like a drink. People around him were walking normally, not paying attention. On camera, the man looked headless, as if his head was missing from his body. The tourist kept filming because it did not make sense. Later, he explained that it was the camera angle that made it look that way, and that the man did have a head. Still, many who watched the clip pointed out that no one around reacted, as if they could not see anything unusual. Divine merge. During a young girl's baptism, what should have been a heartfelt family moment turned into something far more mysterious. As she rose out of the water, the camera captured her body beginning to glow. Bright, intense, almost unnatural. But it didn't stop there. Her form seemed to shift slightly, like her outline was changing in real time. The family believed it was an angel descending to bless her, but the footage makes it look like more than just a blessing. For a moment, it's as if the glowing presence merged with her entirely. Her shape distorts, then settles. To them, it was divine. But what really happened in that moment? Backseat entity. They say shapeshifters don't just change form. Sometimes they can materialize out of thin air. That might explain what happened to these friends. They were driving down a deserted road late at night when they noticed an old man standing by the roadside, pointing straight at them. It already felt off. But then the passenger turned his camera inward and instantly freaked out. The same man was sitting in the back seat. No door opened. He was just there all of a sudden. The guy yelled at the friend to stop. The car halted. They turned back and the seat was empty. So what did they just encounter? Something that wasn't human? Garage shift. Inside a mechanic's garage in India, a security camera recorded something that left viewers baffled. From behind a large tank, a dog suddenly ran into frame. Nothing unusual, until it kept moving. Within just a few steps, its body began to change. Limbs stretched, posture shifted, and before it reached the exit, it had turned into a man who then rushed out of the garage. Locals weren't entirely shocked, though. They spoke of old stories, beings that take animal forms to move unnoticed, and maybe places like garages, with shadows and noise, are the perfect cover. Falling light. Take a look at this clip. Can you make sense of it? A farmer caught something strange happening near his barn. Out of nowhere, a bright light dropped straight from the sky and slammed into the ground. But it didn't just land. It bounced, and as it did, its shape stretched into this long, unnatural form, almost like it wasn't solid at all. Then, it shot off down the hill and vanished. The farmer was left speechless, but he believes it wasn't just light. What if it was an alien being that fell out of a UFO? Mystery light. A security official was reviewing his CCTV footage in Mexico when something caught his attention. The video first showed a small ball of light moving across the frame. Then, slowly, the light changed and appeared to become two childlike figures. The quality was poor, but the shapes were visible. At one point, it looked like two heads crossed the scene at the same time. One figure seemed to be holding something that looked like a lamp. Then their movement changed. They walked like distorted shadows, not fully captured by the camera, and then vanished. The man believed they were shapeshifters traveling in the form of light, using it as a cover to move without being noticed. Morphing creature. Late at night, a CCTV camera captured a creature crawling along the sidewalk. Its body twisted in unnatural ways, moving on all fours like nothing seen before. Then, in the middle of the road, it shifted smoothly into a human and walked away as if nothing had happened. It was clear, a shapeshifter caught mid-transformation. The sight proved that some people walking beside us might not always be human. And honestly, it makes you wonder, the people walking beside us, are they really human every time? Live shift. This clip has seriously disturbed people online. It shows John McCain speaking during a congressional hearing like normal, and then suddenly, he just stops.
And the best way to...
People rush toward him, and it looks like a health emergency at first. But then things get weird. As everyone crowds around, the camera briefly catches a glimpse, and instead of McCain, it looks like someone younger in his place, like he just changed mid-speech. Some believe he lost control of his form, and others were trying to cover it up. Sounds insane. But clips like this are exactly why these theories seem closer to reality than ever. Merkel shift. During a live interview with Angela Merkel, something happened that totally freaked people out. Everything seemed normal, until the camera zoomed in just a little too close, and that's when her eyes shifted. Not a normal blink, I'm talking full-on reptilian slit eyes for a split second. Viewers caught it immediately, and the clip started spreading like wildfire, leaving Angela no chances to hide it. Midnight shift. On the 6th of October, 2024, a quiet street in Pakistan was being monitored by traffic cameras just after midnight. Everything seemed still, until a woman in a black robe entered the frame. Her walk was slow, stiff, almost unnatural. Then suddenly, she bent forward, like something inside her forced it. She stood up again, unsteady, only to bend down once more. But this time, she didn't get back up the same. In a matter of seconds, a black cat appeared where she had been and darted off into the darkness. Some believe moments of stress can break whatever disguise these beings hold, and this might have been one of them. Glitched moment. This interview with Angelina Jolie caught everyone off guard. She was mid-press conference, calm and composed until a reporter asked her a question. That's when things got strange. She opened and closed her mouth like she was trying to speak, but no sound came out. Seconds passed before she finally responded, her expression oddly blank. The internet went wild, claiming she had glitched or momentarily froze like a system rebooting. Maybe it was just nerves, maybe a lag in thought, but that delay, that eerie pause in her face, felt a little too mechanical to ignore. Dual face. Sometimes you end up capturing something you never meant to, just like this guy did. He was standing in a crowded subway train when something about the man in front of him didn't sit right. At first, everything looked normal, but then his eyes locked onto the back of the man's head, and it looked like a face. Not a vague shape or illusion, an actual face-like structure, almost perfectly formed. He tried to brush it off as just the way the skin or fat was shaped, but the longer he stared, the less random it felt. It looked intentional, like something was being hidden in plain sight. And honestly, with sightings like these piling up, it makes you wonder how much we're missing. Eilish appearance. There's this strange clip going around of Billie Eilish that has people seriously questioning things. It shows her appearing out of a crowd like she just materialized out of nowhere. Naturally, people started saying she was a shapeshifter. And it doesn't stop there. Fans brought up an interview where she talked about selling her soul.
That I sold my soul to Satan.
And now they're tying that to her lyrics about fallen angels, dark forces, and all that imagery. Some even reversed her songs and claimed they found eerie, subliminal messages. And they believe that it's not just art, it's something deeper. I mean, it doesn't sound far-fetched anymore. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos.